Well, good morning there, America. You've got Ramblin' Randy here, aka Jedi One. What else they call me? Red Dog. I mean, a bunch of crazy names. My mother called me Philip because it's Philip Randall, and I go by Randy. But let me tell you something. I had an epiphany last night. Epiphany. That is an eye opener, a light went off, whatever. I call it an Essene mirror, a road map. I had an epiphany last night. There isn't anybody that's going to pay any attention to what we're doing, what we're trying to do, unless there's something in it for them. That's it. And so you've heard me talk about being in the river. When you're in the river and your intent is right, is to create greater good for others and in the process prosper. What a wonderful thing. You know, for years and years and years being in the oil business and having 120 employees, 40 of which were stone cold card carrying USDA stamp certified phone warriors. They could get you on the phone. If you said hello, you might as well go ahead and break out the checkbook because it was coming down. These people were good. And I taught these people how to do these things. Coming from a real staunch Southern Baptist background where Daddy even thought that the stock market was gambling, which, hey, he was right. Very few things that DOD, dear old Dad, said that didn't turn out to be somewhat factual, as I find in later life to be true. But being the black sheep of the family from a Southern Baptist background, I busted out, busted loose, and headed north to where everybody else was at. Not on the map. I'm talking about straight up money-wise. And I did that. 3 times I went over 2 commas in my annual income. And 3 times it has gone away. Boy, what an interesting story all that is. But I won't bore you with it. But you'll hear about it on our journey together because that's all that we do, really. I've decided all we can do is tell our own story. Tell your story and it's going to resonate with others. If they like it, you're going to make a damn good friend for life. You build a community or a group of people, just yourself for 100, 200 people over the next 6 months that you know intimately, and about as many as those that you know on a casual or acquaintance basis, and you build yourself a network of people you can trust. Back in the old days. You know, coming from the oil business, you keep your close partners close. You keep your distant partners close, but your real close friends you keep even closer because you got to keep an eye on them. That's just the oil business. We're the city, Kilgore, Texas, where I'm sitting right now. I came back here to do this project because it is one of those places. It might as well be the damn Vatican. I am not kidding you. This is the city that has the world's richest acre as far as production of oil. The damn thing come in at well over 25, 30 barrels a day. And obviously had no wellhead because it blew out. And the entire streets of downtown Kilgore was about 6 inches deep in oil, crude oil. My grandfather was the fire marshal. They were playing dominoes when the first blowout came and it caught fire out on the Spradlin Ranch. And Papa had to be one of the first to ever try to put out an oil field fire. He trained Red Aid there in boots and coots. And he taught, just an old man, didn't have any teeth in his head, none of that stuff. But they had him up there at Texas A&M teaching people how to fight fires. Well, that kind of runs in my blood. That was my left side of the family, which is my mother's side. Straight up bandits. I mean, they'd shoot you through the front door. Daddy's side, they'd kneel and pray with you as you shot them. Hell of a mixture, but it brought this old boy that you're staring at right now. I've had a lot of life's experiences. In this time, like you see, I don't want to be on my deathbed when I say this stuff, but I want to tell you something. I can get you rich. I can damn sure get you rich. And I have thought for years and years and years, how do I do that without going to jail? Should I say again? I guess I should. Truth be known, this thing busts loose. They're going to scream me. They're going to run me through a sieve that the smallest bacteria in the world couldn't get to it. They already know me. They set me up in that oil deal because I rolled on the EPA down in Louisiana and turned them into Baton Rouge headquarters EPA. And Didn't know, but the EPA headquarters was a little tainted as well. So within weeks, they came down on us like Roger Stone. Except I wasn't in town. I was in Hawaii at the time, but they came down to our office, got all our computers, the whole 9 yards. Over, yeah, I didn't know why. You know, anybody in the oil business is going to have disgruntled investors. We only hit about 1 out of 10. And so you got people pissed off and wanting to kill you and everything else all the time because you're just digging holes in the ground. If you don't turn out right, you're Jesse James. If it hits you, a hero, either hero or zero. So I was used to it. They painted it on strong, you know, and after many, many years, and I started researching how all this shit works, I started going, man, they set me up. They set me up to go down because I was fixing to make a big ass stink about this EPA person who was letting Dow Chemical dump in the bayou down there. And they come and set my ass up, and they busted. I was busted from a distance. And coming from a Southern Baptist background deal, I thought in my heart, I said, well, hell, we didn't hit oil. Old boy's got a little bit of meat on the bone there. He's got a little point there. We didn't hit oil. He's pissed. He's broke. His kids are in college, all this shit. And I said, hey, whatever you want to do, just do it. I just want to, as Trump said, do the right thing. Well, the right thing was, they come down on me. So anyway, long story. So I have that experience. I've experienced with the banking sector, big time. Went to war against them about 10 years ago. Because I don't like to pay interest on, you know, it's usury. And so it was quite creative, some of the things that I did. I hadn't really ever owned anything. Oh, God. Now I got to go to my grave saying that. If you have any kids and family members, you can understand why. Let's get to the current affairs here. How I want to save America. Help, I want to go down in history. This is personal. I want to go down in history as being one of those people who didn't cow down, that cowboyed up, grew a set of balls and stood up and said, no, hell no. Not only no, but hell no. And on top of that, I'd like to throw your ass in jail. Not me, you. And so we have a tremendous amount of power here, people. We got a tremendous amount of power. But no one has got the gonads to do it, I guess, unless there's a blue light special going on down there at Kroger, or whatever, the crappie hitting down Spillway, whatever the case may be. You got to go put corn out. Hell, or you whatever. You know, it's all bullshit. It's all lie. It's all, I don't want to do it. Someone else is going to do it. I know this to be true. Hell, I'm human. The last thing I want to do is do anything, period. I'd rather be riding around, burning the midnight oil during midday, if you know what I mean. I love to go to Denver. You know, some people wake up in the morning and they point to the east when they pray. I wake up and I point toward Denver. I point toward Denver. That's what I point toward. Of course, I have a little prayer with the good old Lord, too, up top side. Let me tell you something about the good old Lord. We're the only ones who went astray. How could the source of all good, one coherent energy wave, is the way I look at it, make any mistakes? Hell, fire, and brimstone. That's what I heard all my life. We're born sinners. We're pieces of garbage the day we're born. That is the biggest crock of shit that I've ever heard in my life. I got it pounded into me from day one. Day one. So that's what kind of baggage I'm carrying. But I don't blame any of the problems I've had on my parents, my kids, my environment, none of that shit. Life your current reality is the composition of a good old friend of mine named Jeff over in Nacogdoches, Texas. Good old friend of mine. A little sick about when it comes to them being able to print fiat money for forever and ever and ever, like my good friend Bakradani. But it ain't gonna last, Jeff. It ain't gonna last that long. I saw a good picture of him standing with Ben Shapiro. I've been trying to get a hold of Ben. There's old Jeff standing there and his beautiful bride standing there right there with Ben Shapiro. And then he tells me stuff. Well, anyway, I won't get off into Jeff. That's a whole afternoon worth of chatting there. But anyway, good man. he's helped me through a whole hell of a lot of stuff. A lot of people have. Because I'm not traditional. Shit, I've only had one job in my life, and really, I've owned a whole bunch of stuff. Well, I've owned a whole bunch of stuff and ramrodded it, and was kind of like a Rowdy Yates on Rawhide. And my date myself, hey, anybody remember Rawhide? Yowdy, whatever it was, Yates, that, old Clint Eastwood. See why they give me my name, Rambling? But anyway, y'all all get the point. But let me get to the nut cutting here for today. I say that I live off of Essene mirrors. Life is a journey, and if you understand and you're looking around, the good Lord up top, the frequency, the source of all good. You like that, Nacogdoches? Does that bother you? Little inside joke. I'm going to send my friend this video. Oh, God. Anyway, there isn't any mistakes. How in the hell does anybody think that the good Lord would bring a being down here, knowing the damn thing, and the only chance it's got is to get a grip and find him? What if the thing can't hear, see? Now, well, the Lord is going to have mercy on those. Lord, the source of all good created a perfect being that has the ability to replicate in the form that of his first peer, or those sages or prophets or inspired ones that have come after, the busting of the first egg, and the third one was here. So it says, there has been the ability, every human being has the innate power, greater things can you do than I have done. That's what the boy said. And I heard that part. And I started studying. By God, we can. We can. I'm of the firm belief that we can and grow ourselves another damn arm like on Star Wars. That's a little out there, isn't it? But I do believe that. Lizards do it. And so, that might be a reach for a lot of people, but I have very exotic beliefs, and I hold true to them, and I put my weight down on it. In East Texas, that means that we believe that it'll hold us up. You're crossing that bridge. It's about 500 feet in the air, and there's a big old stream down below. It kill you, rocks and everything. You won't be able to put your weight down on that board. So I do have a lot of faith in that. Let's get to the moment here, Randy. Well, since I do believe in that life is a journey, and that road signs are our experiences if we know how to ascertain and use critical thinking and logic. See, that's the problem, is people aren't using critical thinking and logic. That's what makes oil field people and lumber people, hard-working people, that's what got them where they're at, is they use logic. They MacGyver things. They let their intuitive nature take over, and humans can fix things, people. They can fix things, especially when you got a lot of people that are in harmony of thought, a brotherhood, a community, whatever. So as I'm perusing around, and everyone knows that I've been all over Hell's Half Acre setting up this project, getting all the influencers together. I didn't get Ben Shapiro, but I know who can. I've got a lot of the big ones, and what I'm looking for is people with audiences so that we can do the following. Everything is fluid, and again, critical thinking, looking and seeing life's mirrors that tell you if you're on the right path or wrong path. This is what I found this morning, and this is what we're going to be doing with the overall Rabbit Hole Herald Silent Supporter Society, the Friends of Paul Revere, and in Us We Trust News.com. Those are all entities that I will have out that will drive traffic to this one main hub called the Rabbit Hole Herald. The Rabbit Hole Herald will have a social media site that we've created. You wouldn't believe the creativity I've had to go through. Yes, I do know what spamming bread's like now, because I damn sure have sacrificed, hadn't I, old buddy? So there are those that have testified. It's damn sure out of the nature of me not to be having wooden heels on my Italian shoes or boots, walking through the Bellagio on that marble floor. I love to hear that sound of wooden heels sitting on the Bellagio floor. I'm not there. Hell, I'm embarrassed nowadays sometimes to go to Walmart because my flip-flops are worn out. But I don't care. I'm on a mission. And here's what happened this morning. Since we're going to have a social media site where you can come over and you can post pictures of the last deer you shot, the fish you caught, or whatever, your comments on today's current affairs. You can tell us about how to knit one purl two, whatever. It doesn't really matter. You post your content over there, and if we have a large enough group of people that have joined, someone's going to resonate with you. And we teach a culture that if you gain value in any source, be it a picture, an article, a YouTube that they've demonetized, like SGT, and others, they're patriots, they're weaponizing that damn thing, and they're cutting back the logarithm so that the content's not getting out because it's the damn truth. So we can remonetize those sites. We post it, didn't matter what you do, YouTubes, articles that you write on any forum, you can write them on Medium, you can write them on any forum, as long as we know where you're posting. We can come over. If you have content, then it's our culture. If you gain a value from any source, picture, article, just like I said, or hey, how much is a damn smile worth to you on a bad day? How much? Would you pay a damn penny to get a smile? Would you pay a penny for someone to make a statement, just a simple little statement that inside of you stirred something that made you smile and have a good feeling? Would you give them a damn penny? I would. Hell, I'd give them a dime, quarter. I'd give them what I would be I would be pleased because I would have gained value. You see, when it elevates you, makes you feel good, that's value inside of you. We teach to reciprocate from any value that you gain from another member of the Silent Supporter Society and reciprocate with a small token of your appreciation, be it a penny, nickel, dime, or quarter. That will enable the woodchuck, the redneck, the high plains cowboy that hadn't got any damn hope left, hardly at all, but they research and they do hard work and they share their life experience with us on the Rabbit Hole Herald. Let's say they say something prophetic sitting down there at the river, sitting in a duck blind somewhere, wherever, and they're doing that mainly because they got to do it because they got to eat. Or they're sitting there worried going through we used to go through the newspaper, look at the want ads. I don't even think they do that anymore, look for a job. But anyway, they're sitting there, they're desperate, and they're looking for something to do, to save the family. I've been there. The source of all good sent me through the valley. Sure did. But you see, you can't really honestly say that you know what a Ruth Chris steak tastes like. Now, that's a real good steakhouse down here in the South. Maybe up north too, I don't know. But you can't say what their steak tastes like with truth and honesty unless you bit into the thing and you've actually consumed it. Then you can go out and say it's damn sure good, but you can't do it till then. So the only thing I can figure is that the source of all good had to run me through the ringer, like go through the briar patch down there like old Burr Rabbit. Or Peter on the way to wherever he's headed. Where was he headed in Nacogdoches? You'll tell me. But anyway, and you have to go through the valley to be able to appreciate the top. So I'm pretty well ready to go up topside. But here's another thing: is I've thought real hard about this. I'm in the zone now. I don't like to leave this zone. I love to do research. I love to do this stuff. I love to talk to people. I'm not as fired up anymore about trying to bump Bill Gates out of his position up there to being the richest man in the world. I know. Nacogdoches, I know, and others around here. Hell, in this very town I'm sitting in, I am not kidding you, could buy Dallas easily, and still be able to go out and get him a cheeseburger this evening. I'm not kidding you. I am not kidding you. So, anyway, that's my story. And so, remember Ramblin' Randy here. That's why they call me Ramblin'. I'm going to get to the message of the day here. I'm going along. I've been thinking of how we form this. What kind of platform do I want to have for our daily calls? In uswetrustnews.com. That'd be a 24-hour damn deal. I'm telling you straight out. It's going to be a 24... Didn't have time to hit that button, and I'm not even gonna filter that out because I'm damn human, and this is live. So we're going to have a 24-hour deal where people can call in when something breaks loose. Like I was sitting here the other night, and I'm listening to Jimmy Church on Fade to Black, or I was listening to someone, Rex Bear, on the Leak Project, or I was listening to somebody, and they're talking about plasma bombs going off, meteorites and stuff flying over Texas. Hell, I didn't see any. I'm sitting in the house. I ran outside, looked at plasma bomb, couldn't find nothing except the moon. It sure was pretty, but anyway, if we had a platform like what I'm talking about, we've got 1 million people. At least they know that they can go to the 24-hour hotline, whatever we want to call that damn thing, and they can blurt that out. By God, that's got some value. And so what I'm fixing to show you here in a minute, I'm going to shut up, turn on C-SPAN. C-SPAN has the Morning Journal, and I'm going to call my programmers today. And I'm going to say, I want that right there, dog. I want that. I want our platform to be just like that. Let me tell you something else. Just because I'm sitting in here in this T-shirt, by the way, this is a hemp T-shirt. You see me with it on a lot. I've ordered a whole boatload of these. I'm never gonna buy anything else except hemp. This damn thing is so soft and so durable. Do you know that the Constitution's written on hemp? Do you know that there was wars over hemp because it made all the sales? It's the best kind of fabric. It doesn't take need any pesticide. It doesn't need any fertilizer. It can grow 4 times as much timber as regular. 4 times as much fiber can be yielded from the same amount of acreage as timber, and you can do that 4 times a damn year. You can make plastic out of hemp. I mean, come on, wake up, smell the roses, people. Randolph Hearst, Carnegie, Rockefeller, and the likes thereof back in the 20s or 40s when they started this damn hemp war deal here going on. They did it, and they put a stigma on marijuana so they could tie hemp to that. And marijuana's got a hell of a lot of medicinal qualities to it to help the upright Homo sapien here on the blue planet. They saw that being a threat because Carnegie was starting into the pharmaceuticals. Rockefeller had the petroleum plastics. Crooked-ass Randolph Hearst had all the paper mills across the country. Hello, Nacogdoches. And oh God, and he didn't want that threatened because hemp, Constitution again is written on it. And look at back in 1953, hemp or marijuana on Time magazine said it's the world's next billion-dollar industry. Well, they couldn't have that dog hunting because it'd wipe them out. So they started this propaganda deal. Hell, they do it with that. Wake up, people. It's a template. They lay the damn templates out. Little time go by, 7-10 years. They got the time. And then they spring it again. They did it again. Let me get on here to what I found. So I'm going to show you. I'm going to shut up so you can look at this. I'm going to pause. The next thing you're going to see is C-SPAN. And by the way, good morning. This is Ramblin' Randy. I'm down here in the beautiful Piney Woods of East Texas. Hope you're having a great day. It is by choice. Go out, smile at a stranger, make you feel good. So stand by, and here comes C-SPAN. Folks, this is how one of the components or the elements of our overall campaign is going to work. We will have an open line, we'll have a regularly scheduled call or meeting, you will, like a webinar where people can come, but it'll be live to where they can do just like the Washington Journal's doing here on C-SPAN. At the same time, we will have our chat room going where people can be posting verbal printed chat that others can watch, and I'll monitor it as well. And in addition to that, if someone posts something on the chat room or actually in our social media platform that has great content, that is good response, good value to it about the topic that we're discussing live, the people that are watching the social platform or the chat room can see this content created by one of our other members. If it has value, they can give them a penny, nickel, dime, or quarter based on our culture, as that when we gain value from any source, we reciprocate with a small token of appreciation. This is no skin off anybody's nose, a penny. But the people that are saying this content, they desperately, lots of them need it. And so this is a way that they can monetize their life when they wake up and break out of it. Folks, listen, if someone posts something here that's very, very of great value, I call it prophetic. 1 million people of our members see this. Do the math. 1 penny is how much? Hello! Wake up, people. This is one of the CPAs told me in Nevada. He said, Randy, you've created the world's first fair exchange of value wealth redistribution system. Think about it. You don't have to be at MIT. You don't have to be a Rhodes Scholar or some sort of, in man's eyes, have a label on your shirt or your resume that'd be able to come up with prophetic things. He walked through the desert, did he not? Was he a meager man? Was he not? Yes, he was. Did he have a sheepskin saying how great of accolades they gave him at the local study for the elite people back in the day? No, he didn't. You know what I'm talking about. So let's just go here. Every human being has value, and we're trying our very best. We have found a way to monetize waking up in the morning. Watch this. This is what happened yesterday morning, and this is what the same kind of format that we can follow as well. Enjoy for just a minute.
Good morning. 2 weeks of hearings now in the books. Congress is in recess for the Thanksgiving holiday. We heard yesterday from David Holmes, who is political counsel to the embassy in Ukraine, and Dr. Fiona Hill. And now the question before Washington and the nation, what happens next? It is Friday morning, November 22nd. Ahead on the Washington Journal, highlights from C-SPAN's live coverage of the House Intelligence Committee, how the hearings are playing out in the morning papers, social media, and political circles, and of course your calls, your tweets, and your comments. Join us in the conversation. You can begin dialing 202-748-8000.
We'll do the same thing, just like this.
That is our phone line. If the hearings change your...
We'll do the same thing, just like this. We'll have numbers displayed. The members can call in, various things, just like this. Exactly like this.
Two. Also this morning, you can send us a text message at 202-748-8003 or a tweet at C-SPAN.
Here we would be working in conjunction with Facebook. I mean, they're not going to like it, but we are using their tools to take down the dark side, the globalists. So we'll do the same thing. Let's listen to him a second. This is what we're going to do. That could be me or you up there being the narrator. I'm not the one that's going to be driving all the time, people.
Online at WashingtonPost.com. And from the Washington Times, there is this: rank and file Democrats puzzled about the next step for impeachment. Here's the story, quote, after 2 weeks of impeachment hearings, House Democratic leaders were poised to draft articles of impeachment against President Trump, but their rank and file members were stumped about what they should do next. Lawmakers heading home for Thanksgiving break unsure whether there would be more hearings or when they would cast a seemingly inevitable vote on impeachment, with just 8 legislative days remaining before the end of the year. Congressman Will Hurd of Texas, an outspoken anti-Trump Republican on the Intelligence Committee.
So we'll be doing things just like this. We'll have topics that you people will bring to the chat room and to the social platform that we will see. We will see that those are hot topics that everyone has interest in, be it chemtrails, vaccines, running of the Christians off across the world. People wake up. They're trying to drive out the very fabric that holds us together, is the unique God above us that holds us together. So let's just see how this format works. I just want to show you that this is how we're going to be doing it as well. Not as fancy stuff like this in the beginning, but we'll work to whatever we need. We don't have to have fancy stuff. What we want is the facts, and we want in uswetrustnews.com to be where we get our real value. Because we pray about things, we use discernment, logical thinking.
3 seconds of testimony. And yesterday at her weekly dugout, Speaker Nancy Pelosi was asked what more she needs to know before moving to the next phase of the impeachment process.
We aren't finished yet. The day is not over, and you never know what testimony of one person may lead to the need for testimony of another, as we saw with Ambassador Taylor at the beginning of last week.
Trying to get that thing to go off the middle there.
bringing forth Mr. Holmes today. So again, that will be a judgment made by the committees of jurisdiction.
I'm going to let this roll along there a little bit while you're watching that very person right there. Hell, she is one of 4 families that run California, and her district is the most nasty, pathetic district that there is in California, and no one ever votes against Nancy. Well, wake up, people, because now if we get 1 million people, we can be strategic. We can say, anyone in that area, get over there and vote. We could vote Nancy. And this guy here, his district is Burbank. Imagine that, Burbank. He also is a failed screenwriter. He is has a rap sheet of being a pedophile, has a case pending right now, as well as this cat right here, Nader's son. Well, I won't get into all that now. I'll start rambling, but what they're doing is they're building up the topics of yesterday or the day before yesterday, or was it yesterday? And then they're going to be doing call-ins, as you'll see in a minute. And they're precious. The call-ins are precious. It's wonderful to listen to those that are under the ether on the left side, that are being sucked in because of all the austerity programs that people are giving away. Hell, who doesn't want to stand in a line to get themselves some free stuff? Okay? Who wouldn't want to do that? I don't want to do it, but who does? And so once you start giving people austerity programs for forever, then for years and generations, you start trying to take it away. Fur's going to fly. So this is calculated moves that's taking place here. So people will call in. People will have heard content that they heard on Jimmy Church, on Clyde Lewis, on George Norrie's show, Rex Bear's show, John B. Wells. All the people that I follow, that I'm in touch with, they become members of the Silent Supporters Society. Everything has value, so they're being great influencers. If you're an influencer and you have a station, or you're like one of these big dogs that have big stations out there, and we see value in you expanding our brotherhood, our base, our community of people. So that within itself is grounds for giving the influencers, like these big people I just talked about, when they have a show on, and then someone goes to the Rabbit Hole Herald or the chat room, mentions that show, we study that show, and we give a gratitude, a token of appreciation to the individuals, not only for helping us find another mind, because we're looking for minds more than money. Everyone else is looking for money. I'm looking for the minds, because you get enough people, you can use what's called the 100 monkey theory, which is you can flip society, you can flip a mindset. That's what they're doing to us now. They're keeping us always focused on our attention on all this stuff going on, where attention flows, where attention goes, energy flows, and that's the seed of manifestation. People, we're creating our own problem, because we've got our panties in a bunch, and we're constantly focusing, giving these people our attention, and we are, without knowing it, creating this situation. So what in the world are you thinking about? So we get together and we clear our heads. In us we trust for our news. We have researchers out there that we're going to find. Help me find researchers. Every time a researcher that someone else is following them, like one of these big shows I just talked about, if you've got a big show, you better listen to me. Listen to me close. If you've got 10,000 people and 1,000 of them become Silent Supporter members, we're looking for supporters that will make a commitment of $5 a month that they'll give away. I'm not asking you to buy a damn thing. I don't want the money. I want you to go out there on your own and get involved, get entangled, get spiritually entangled. If you're sitting here learning stuff, people, and then after the show's over, you go back over and grab you a beer, whatever you're doing, and don't do anything, then you're part of the problem. Silence has two sides. The silence where we all gain our value, in our meditation and prayer, and that's where we gain value. Also, silence is when you know something and you sit silently by. To me, by definition, it is treasonous. It's treason by proxy. And so by throwing someone a penny, you're entangled. You have taken a piece of your essence, because you had to work. You had to do something to get that damn penny. And so when you give it away, you're entangling your essence in supporting those people. So that's why I say a penny penny has power. 1 million pennies that someone that's starving, slapped to death, that says something prophetic that gets him $10,000, people. If it was 50 cents, do the math. Do the math. And so if you help me save this country by educating people, we're going to have people that's going to have to take a little, watch some videos done by G. Edward Griffin, who was the author of The Creature from Jekyll Island, and several others about chemtrails, vaccines, how the Federal Reserve works. You're going to watch these things, and my mission will then be accomplished because I'm going to be talking to you. And if you can't get motivated by what you see, then you're part of the problem. Some will, some won't. So what? Someone else is waiting. Get out of the way, because we're here to save this country. We've got a limited amount of time to do it. 2020 is coming. We need to be right. They're starting to what's called, George Soros is funding people to go and start to campaign for down ballot, which means that they're getting AGs in local and state venues. They hire. Oh God! The DA in Baltimore was the mother and father of the DA in Baltimore is dropping from their accusing people of criminalizing $950 you can steal in any store in Baltimore and you don't go to jail. They're trying to deteriorate the rule of law and the Constitution. People, we cannot have that. We will not have that. So listen here. Let's see if they've got any callers. Yeah, we got some calling. This is what y'all are going to be doing, members of the Silent Supporter. You can call in here if you say something great. We're sitting out here listening. We'll flip you a penny, nickel, dime, or quarter. Here we go. What happened?
Obama administration, the FBI, the CIA, other places conspired to overturn the democracy of this country. That's huge. And if I'm wrong, prove it to me. Because at where we stand right now, that is the only Russian collusion we know of is the Steele dossier. So when this whole thing started, I thought this is just an attempt to hide that. And every witness, I've watched about 5 or 6 hours. I've read quite a bit, but I've only had time to watch 5 or 6. I have a job. It comes down to the same thing, that Trump was obsessed with 2016, and he was obsessed with corruption in Ukraine. And you know what? If I were Donald Trump, I would be obsessed with 2016 too, because a huge segment of this country spent 3 years calling you a traitor for no reason. So, I mean, anybody in this country who's not concerned with getting to the bottom of what happened in 2016 says it's okay if the intelligence agencies in this country act the way they did under Hoover. I mean, I thought we were out of that. I thought we were past it. I thought we wanted to be better. So if the election for 2020 were held today, I would vote for Donald Trump. I did not in 2016, but I would today simply because,
amen,
as loose a cannon as Donald Trump is,
amen,
the overturning of democracy and the overturning of the Constitution that the Democratic Party represents is an existential threat, whereas Donald Trump is just a feather in the wind. Thank you.
Hey, Steve, thanks for the call from Woodbridge, Virginia. And this is from Alfred, also on our Twitter page, saying Congress needs to hear from Pompeo, Barr, Bolton, Manafort, Stone, Mnuchin, Mulvaney, and Julian Assange before drafting the articles of impeachment and moving the matter to the Senate. Craig, here in Washington, D.C., you're calling on the phone line that the hearings changed your mind. How so?
Well, I just wanted to look at the whole overall situation, and I'm appalled at some of these callers that call in and say that they would vote for Trump. I mean, Trump is the biggest liar.
Here we go.
Ever, I think, any president we ever had. I mean, sir, what I'm trying to say is all them dignified people that came on this show, I mean, they not bipartisan or partisan. I mean, these people are just American people, and they did their duty, really, to come out and take chances.
This is what's sad. This is what's terribly sad, is that, yes, they are humans, and yes, they're doing their job based on what their bosses or their puppeteers tell them to do, and most of them don't even know they're caught up in it, people. This is very subtle, what's going on, and yes, they do get great accolades, and yes, they have had great bars and things on their chest when they put their dress blues or dress whites on. I've got some too. But, that doesn't mean that if you're working for Jeffrey Dahmer and you do a great job and he gives you great accolades that you're a good person. Do you understand what I'm saying? So what we're going to do is going to be just like this. It's going to be just like the callers that are calling in. Here's another one from Virginia. Let's see what they're saying. But that last caller that called in is under the ether. God bless him and the horse he rode in on. But we have to have the rule of law, and we have to vet people. Those people have already been vetted, and they've been proven to be, or they've been shown enough circumstantial comments that they make to see that they're biased, and we all know that.
Homosexuality, and to believe it's all right to kill babies because they're going to take their tax exempt away from churches.
Roy, thanks for the call from Jonesville, Virginia, and
Hell,
Blue
they cut
Dots
him off.
agreeing
Let me
with
go
you
back
when
there
our
and see what
best
he
president.
said.
And that's what I referred to repeatedly in the coming weeks, whenever it became relevant. And I'll remind you, sir, that one more important point. Throughout this time, as I've testified, we were trying to find a formula, things we could do with the Ukrainians that would convince the president that they were worth talking to.
Maybe Mr. Holmes, the takeaway was he thought it was no big deal because he already knew. He didn't remember it because we already had the transcript. That was Congressman Jim Jordan and David Holmes, U.S. political.
Okay, I think you get the gist of what we're going to be doing. We're going to have a platform just like this. When people call in, just like those people did, other members will be listening. And if it's profound, like some of those I just heard, we just pick up our little telephone and our device. You can be watching on the computer as well. And then we'll have a platform instead of hitting retweet, like, or all that stuff, penny, nickel, dime, quarter, and you can monetize that person. It goes peer-to-peer, no fees. We're charging no fees. I'm giving this thing away to the world. I want to see America win. So go out there, people. This is just a little giving you an idea of what this platform is going to be like. If you're an influencer, if you're like Clyde Lewis, Jimmy Church, John B. Wells, all the others that I have reached out and met with, Rex Bears, my main man, we're going to lead with Rex. And if you have a book of other influencers, remember, if you have anybody that you know, you become a member, anybody else that you know that's prophetic, has a little show, has maybe 200 or 300 people on it or whatever, or they're just a good person, has some friends on Facebook, whatever, a bunch of people, you get those, anyone that you come in that makes a commitment. If they commit to $5, you're getting half of it. I'm not getting it. It's going to the horse that brought them to the table. That's of extreme value to all of us. Because the faster we get to 1 million plus people, the more pennies mean. More pennies mean. We can break out in subgroups everywhere and be having these going on everywhere. I just created a platform. Is all I did. Is I created a platform. You know, with God's grace and guiding me, I created a platform. And that's crazy within itself. But that's what we got. So stay tuned to this. It's going to be a wonderful journey. It is a platform made in heaven for people, and we're giving it away. So God bless you. This is Ramblin' Randy on the side. Go out, have a wonder-filled day. It is by choice. And remember this, once a person who has been honestly mistaken all of their life learns the truth, they either cease to be mistaken or they cease to be honest. What say you? We down.